we are live. Welcome. Tuesday evening. Quilting with Kathy. And let's see who's here. Jean is here from Mount Vernon, Washington. Hi, Jean. Oh, my friend Linda is here from New York. Carla has made it from Oklahoma City. Linda, my Michigan buddy, is here. And Rita's made it all the way from the opposite side of the world. Good morning, Rita. I see you guys had a little bit of... Oh, no, that was in New South Wales. That wasn't you guys. A little bit of snow going on lately. What we've got tonight? We have got 3 templates. The first one is going to be the toughest one. Is going to be... Sound is strange. Okay. Good morning, Linda. Microphone issues. Okay, we're going to take this one off. Hi, Lisa.
All right, how does that one sound, guys? Boy, I'll tell you, this microphone issue I'm not real happy with. Lisa's here from Sugarland. Hi, Lisa. Sound playing up again, yeah, Linda, it sure is. And Susan's here from Clearwater, PA. Oh, good. Patsy's here, says it's much better. Donna, much better. Good. Good. I'm glad we're good now. Okay. So let's get started. We are going to do 3 templates tonight, and they are going to be spinning wheels, the Circles on Quilts spinning wheels. We have number 4, number 5, and number 6. Now, we're starting with number 4. Number 4 is the most difficult one. And when we look at it, I want you to notice we're going to go on a pin. We're going to start at A. We're going to cross over to B, cross over to C, move along to D, cross over at E, and then we're going to come back down to A. I am going to encourage you to draw it out first, several hundred times. No, just kidding. Draw it out several times. And what I have found, I mean, you can see, of course, my drawing is never as good as my stitching. So what I want to show you is this is what I have found with this template. First up, you have the edge lines here to follow, which is really a good thing. Okay, but what's important is your crossing points here and here. If you make those match up, so for example, we're going to come up here. You're going to slow down and concentrate on keeping that foot steady. This is where we're going to cross right here. So now we're going to go from B to C. Now, it will be, you're going to want to go like this. But what you want to do really is go ahead and come off that edge. And then you're going to hit that C portion. And again, you're going to cross over right there. C to D is easy, okay? Now, when you're going from D to E, what you want to do is you want to cross over this part right here. You want to cross over on the solid line. We're going to want to do that on here too. So we're going to come down, whoops. We're going to come off of that template. We're going to come down to E. and that's going to keep us nice and safe there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come down. We're keeping our foot next to this template, and we're going to cross it over on our reference line and then back down. It takes practice. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, the first two I stitched out were absolutely horrible. And the first few I drew out were absolutely horrible, as you can see. I wavered here, I wiggled, I wobbled, I got all over the place. But then after I did all the drawing, I set up to stitch it out, and you can see the stitch out's better than the drawing. So let's go ahead and get a piece of fabric here. I'm going to take, I gotta save my stitching line discs, have to go back into my little carrier because I don't want to lose them. And mine are clear, so they can be lost quite easily. So here's what I did just before you guys came on, and you'll see I got a little wiggle here. If this was a real quilt, would I take it out and fix it? Yes.
Camera's off.
Oh, thank you, Ken. He said I moved the camera. This camera has, oh, I see what happened. I have a rubber band holding it where it needs to be. Bear with me just a second, guys. And I gotta get it over there. There we go. Okay, thank you, Kim.
There you
Okay. Hi, Ronnie. Ronnie's here from Northeastern Arizona. Okay. Yeah, Rita says, I get why we have to float across the first one, but why the second one? It's such a large gap. Yeah, it is. Hi, Evelyn. It is, but I know you can do it. I know you can. Marine's here. Jan is here. Oh, Charlene is here. Oh, goodness. See, you guys are all Lee. Hi, welcome. You guys were all coming in while I was explaining this. So right here, what you're going to see is I wavered a little bit and I did not cross right on the reference line. That's what you're going to aim for. Okay. So let's go ahead and put it on here. I'm going to line it up. Now, what am I looking for? I'm not looking for anything. I need to put my foot down. I'm looking for a stitching line disc. I don't need one when I'm sewing, do I? Okay, so we're going to pull this up. I'm going to make a couple small stitches here. Oops. Oh my goodness. I've got a dog moving stuff all over the place here in the way of my presser foot. Okay, so here we go. A couple small stitches. And remember, we want to keep those stitches a little smaller when we're going on a curve like this. This part is so easy, guys. I'm serious. I love this part of it. You know, it's like any other one that we've had to practice. It's okay to practice. So I'm going from A up to B. I'm going to slow way down. I'm going to keep that trajectory going in the same way, okay? I don't want to waver at all on it. Now I'm coming B to C, and this is a long way to come. There is no doubt about it. But remember, we want to come off of this edge. And we don't want to come off of this edge so much that we make a loop here or a waver here. So just take your time, nice and slow. And if you do that, and you're aiming ahead. There you go. Went straight from B to C. Now we're going to come back to D, which is easy peasy because we're just going to run along the template. There we go. I'm going to stop with my needle down, and I'm doing the turning because I want you guys to see. So now we're coming from D to E. Personally, I think this one is probably the most difficult one for me. Okay, I'm going to come down, and I'm going to aim to cross right here. So I don't want to get myself too vertical here. Nice and slow, and you'll come right into E. Okay, now back to A. You'll see we have the edged lines here for the previous rotation. So again, nice and slow. I'm going to shoot to have my stitching come right across here. And if we take a spacing gauge, what will happen is we should see this at exactly 1/4 of an inch from here. And it pretty much, if we were to make this arc longer, we would have 1/4 of an inch from the arc to the center. So if you want to take a look at your 1/4 of an inch, it might be helpful. But here we go, nice and steady. And down we're going to go. This part gets a little easier. And I came off of my template. I was looking at something else. I'm not worried about that. This is practice. Okay. So now we want to get to the next reference line. And all I'm going to do is stitch my way over. Whoops, I got off of that. I hate it when I do that. There we go. One more. There we go. So let's do this again, okay? First thing I'm going to do is look for questions, see if anybody's got some questions. Okay. Oh, Linda, you're fine. Linda, I love it. She says, I'd give you one guess how I'd be stitching this template. Yeah, I thought about it too. I just don't think Stacy'd be happy if I taught you all to do it wrong. Okay, so here we go, up on A. And this may be one of those templates that you might want to put an extra piece of stable tape here. Now remember, we're going to keep our trajectory going in the same arc. We're not going to change the shape of that arc like I just did. Okay, B to C. We're going to come off of this edge right here, but we're going to keep going straight across here. We're not going to go back into the D slot. Perfect. Over to D. What's that noise? Is it raining?
Did we make it rain? I
Okay.
can't see what I'm saying.
We're going from D to E. And I shot above it a little bit, but it's not going to show. Okay, guys, come on. And now we're going from E back to A. Remember, we want to cross on this reference line here. Nice and slow and easy. There we go.
Turn the way to
What's wrong, Ken?
I don't like this at all. I can't see anybody in the center.
Don't worry. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and go to my next reference line. Right there. Put needle down. Make sure I'm lined up. Whoops. Make sure I'm lined up here. We're going to do this one more time.
We switched over to 906. Leave it off.
And going to be, take that extra stitch right here because that is a point. Now we're going to come up to C. This is where it's important to keep that angle the same. Back to B. Okay, now we're going to go over to E again. Needle down and back to A. Whoops, I moved my template, no worries. And back we go. Now, I want to tell you, the more that you guys do this, the easier it's going to become. And if you think of it like eating an elephant, just take one piece at a time. Don't look at it and fear the whole thing that's happening.
Where you going, Keith?
Just look at one thing at a time.
Yeah.
We'll do this one more rotation, okay? You'll see how beautiful this lines up with the template, with the etchings. And, you know, sometimes you gotta push, pull, smush, you know, course, that kind of thing. But that's okay, it's fine. Okay, here we go. Starting at A.
Keith, get out of here. Where are you going?
I am going to cross over to B. Needle down. I'm going to move my template, and I'm doing this so it's easier for you all to see. We're going to go ahead and follow that up to C. And back to D.
Lee says she's not sure about all this crossing over. Oh my.
Kay doesn't like the crossing over.
Leave it off.
Oh, Lee doesn't like the crossing over. And you know what? It is some crossing over, but once you get it, it's worth it. It just takes a little bit of practice. Okay, and here is the last one we're gonna do. Whoops, I fell off. I saved myself, but I did fall off on that one because I was not paying attention. And right here, you'll see where I fell off.
Maureen, could you show us what it would look like putting another one between two you already have stitched? Maureen.
Okay, Maureen, let's try that. This would require 32 reference lines. Well, let's take a look at it and see what it would do. Now I'm just eyeballing this, because all I have drawn here is 16 reference lines. Okay, now before I come to start my crossing over here, I do like to just kind of stop here, rest a second, or, take stock of where I need to be. Okay, now we've come to B, needle down. Now we're going to come up to C. Nice and easy. Back to D. Needle down. Come over to E. Keep that trajectory going in the same direction. Now we're going to come back to A. We're going to cross over and head for home. Okay? There we go. And this is what it would look like, Maureen, with 32 reference lines. I think it's gorgeous. Let me go ahead and get this out. Here's 32 reference lines, guys. Isn't that beautiful? I love it. I love it. Plus, the nice thing about that, if you wobble a little bit, it's not going to matter. It's going to be so much design in there that it's probably not going to even be noticeable if you have a little wobble in there. But that is beautiful. Thank you for asking, Maureen. Well, hi, Deb. Cactus Deb is here. Okay, let's look at, okay, Maureen, I already got that. Okay, Linda says, this would be really hard to do if you were doing a quilt and wanted to stitch in all directions instead of moving the quilt. So you were just stitching in front of you. Linda, I would agree it would be more challenging. Absolutely. But this is like any other template. If you practice it, you will get it, okay? Maria says, I love that, but afraid it would take a lot of white to get it stitched out. I love that, Maureen, because it does work better if you're not too uptight. You don't want to be clutching things, Ken's got a message for you, Maureen. Get one of them big boxes of wine. Oh, you guys are fine. I love it. Okay, so there is our Circles on Quilts Spinning Wheel 4. And right now I'm going to breathe a sigh of relief that I got through it without messing anything up. This was one of the more difficult ones. One of those ones that you're going to want to practice a little more before you put it on your project. Okay, let's take a look at Circles on Quilts Spinning Wheel 5. It looks almost as complicated as the 4, doesn't it? It's not even close. Okay. Let me get this out. I'm going to show it to you. This one is so nice. There is crossover on it, but the crossover, see, we're going to come from A to B, C to D. It's just this little area here. And after what we did on this one, this is practically nothing, right? And this one does sit on a pin as well. Okay, I had to wet the whistle there. So here is a picture of what it looks like. I believe these are all 11.5-inch designs too. I would have to measure, but something in my little brain tells me that's what we got. So again, I'm going to line this up on 16 lines. We're going to want 16 reference lines. Maureen, just for you, we can try 32. I don't think it'll work with this one, but I don't know. Never say never, right? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start at A. And pull my thread up. Okay, if I can grab it. Sometimes it wants to fight me. Reminds me of that Alka-Seltzer commercial where my body punches itself. Okay, so here we're going to come from A to B, B to C, C to D. And I need to start over here, guys, okay? I almost messed that up because we do need to go. What's going to happen? Let me show you why. Do you think I squirreled enough with that sentence? Okay, A to B, B to C, C to D. We end here, and then we have to move our template back so that our foot now is A. A to B, B to C, C to D, move it here. So we want to make sure that if we're not doing a complete circle on this one, we want to make sure that we can move it to the right. Okay? And we're going to pull thread up. We're going to put our foot down, our needle down. We're going to make sure that we are lined up on our crosshair. We've got our foot or our bottom in on the pin. And here we go. And this is going to be very similar to the last one. We just want to keep that trajectory the same. Going across here and just keep smoothly transitioning over to B. Needle down. Now, I'm going to tell you guys, I don't do all of this turning around when I'm actually quilting. I do this for you so you can really see what's going on here, okay? It's always a good idea to practice going in every direction. Now, if you got off a little bit, this is where you're going to want to move your template to the left or right, okay? Just like when we do clamshells, nobody's going to notice if you have to adjust that a little bit. So there's B to C. Easy peasy on that one, right? Now we're going to come C to D. And just like before, what we want to do is we want to cross that line of stitching right on our reference line. Okay? And there we go. Take your time. And now we've come down to D. I've got my needle down, and now I'm going to twist my template, and I am now at A again. And what you're going to see is these lines are going to line up with what you have already stitched. So let's do that again. That was fun. A to B, B to C, C to D. And that's where we stop. Then we want to twist our template. Okay. Take that one stitch in place. I do like to keep these stitches a little on the short side. And I really believe that slowing down will help you keep that angle going so you can make that crossover. The B to C is the easy part. Needle down, C to D. There we go. Needle down. Twist our template. And we're going to do that again, okay? Now what I love about this is the template opportunities. Now, what I did on that one, did it on purpose, is I went ahead and stitched it while it was facing away from me. So I couldn't see where this template, well, I could see where this template ended, but I couldn't see where this one began. And so what I did was I moved down just a little too far. And when I hit that template, I had to come up to get my foot next to it. And that to me is why it's important to be able to move this around as you're working on it. Until you get really good at it. And you will get really good at it. It's like any other template, guys. Every one we've ever used, we have had to learn, we have had to practice. These are no different. I think that the outcome of them is actually beautiful. They probably are one of the more stunning examples of ruler work that we can do. And especially with template, oh my goodness, the opportunities here are awesome. I'm going to go to C. And now I'm going to turn this again so I can see this template, this part of the template ending, and this part of the template beginning. And this is so much easier when you can see it. Needle down, twist. And let's do that again, okay? What do you think of this one, guys? Okay. Thank you, Lisa. I like this one. Donna says, I think Leonie West had a few cocktails when she designed these. You know, it's possible. I don't know for sure. Linda says, definitely easier. And yes, it is definitely easier. Definitely. We only have these two crossovers here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do one more. Then I'm going to come in and try to do one at 32 rotations. And let's take a look at what happens with that, okay? There we go. You know something, it is so warm in my sewing room right now that I can't keep my glasses on. They keep slipping to the edge of my nose. And we have central air conditioning. Okay, we're going to come down to D. Stop. Okay, so if we want to do 32, what we're going to do is we're going to slide our template halfway between the two 16 rotation guides. But that doesn't put us at A, so we're going to have to stitch back to A. And this will be interesting. Now we're going to come over to B. Back to C.
The Law's got the same problem. She has fans in the upstairs sewing room.
What's that?
Lee Law has fans going in her upstairs sewing room. They had central AC too.
Yeah, you know, it doesn't,
Heat rises.
heat rises. We live in an old house. So this house was not made efficient for air conditioning. I get that. I get that. Okay, and here we go. I want you to notice I got a little bobble on there. Full disclosure, I don't hide anything. Okay, there we go. Now we're at D. Now I need to get, where do I need A to be? Okay, so we just did one here. So I need to go, no, I need to go on here. Yep. And I need to come back. Up to B and over to C. And then we're going to come down to D. Now this, if nothing else, these templates are going to teach you not to push against your template, okay, over to D. Okay, now we're going to come halfway again. So we're going to come back to A. Up to D, whoops. Template. There we go. Up to C. Stay on the template cat. I'm looking at C instead of where I'm stitching. That one's going to be a little messy. That's why we call it practice. Oh, that was a beautiful crossover. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and, okay, let's do one more. And now we have to stitch back to A. So could this be done? Yes, it can be done. Will it give us a nice design? Yes, it will. And it's also going to give us one additional element that we did not have in the first one at 30 or 16 rotations. I'm sorry, this is 32. One more. That's what I said last time as we went back to A, back to B. C. I got off the template again. I have to watch what I'm doing, not where I'm going. Yeah. There we go. Okay, let's take a look here. Okay, so this is what happens. I like it. And I think without the wobbles that I've got in there, I think it would make a beautiful design. 32 rotations. Check that out, guys. Here is 16. This is the way the template was made to work, with 16. Here is just a snapshot of it with 32 rotations. Definitely think it's worth trying out if you really have something you want to stitch heavily.
Looks like a pineapple, Law says.
It does look like a pineapple. Okay, now I'm hungry. Linda Lombardo says it's pretty cross-hatching, and it is. It really is. Oh, Brenda's here from Knoxville.
Oh, Knoxville.
Yeah. Okay. I like it. I really do. I think this one is a definite. I love this one. Okay. I like this one. I really do. I just have to take my time when I stitch it and not get distracted. That to me is the key, being able to really focus on what you're doing. When I'm doing this, talking to you guys, trying to stitch things out, trying to make sure I don't make mistakes. Okay, my mind is going in several directions at once, and make sure my camera's lined up and you can hear me talking. That's a really important thing too. So I think that's part of the reason that I get off of the template a little bit. But I will be using this one. I see it in my future to be used more often. I obviously used it at one time down the road, so I think it's going to happen more often now. This is one of the reasons that I really enjoy doing this with you, because a lot of times we don't know for sure what the templates are until we see them stitched out like this. Like here, the 32 rotations, I love it. I'm looking at it and going, oh, I could do this, I could do that, I could do a whole lot of things. And seeing them stitched out is a whole lot different than just looking at them on the front of the package, because we can play with them a little bit. Okay, so I took my pen out of that one. I've got one more quilt sandwich here. This one is for spinning wheel number 6. Remember, these are spinning wheels. They're all going to be on pins, on tacks. That's just the way it goes. And if you look at this one, man alive, I looked at this one and went, I can't do anything with that, can I? And then I looked at this and went, wow, that's not going to work at all. I'll show you why I thought that, and I'll show you how it does work, okay? Contrary to my feeble brain, it actually is done quite well. So we're going to go ahead and put our tag in. Make sure I've got it in the right spot. You know, it's so important. Take your time putting the tag in. Make sure you've got it right where you want it to be on that crosshair, right in the center. When it gets off, if it's a practice square, it really doesn't matter. But when it gets off and it's a quilt square, it matters. It really does. Because what's going to happen is you're going to be putting another quilt square next to it. And if that one is off too, then when you get to the next row or the quilt square on the other side, it's going to look cattywampus. One of the other things that I find I like to do is I cut my blocks really big. That way, if I do get it a little cattywampus, when I trim it up, I'm trimming it up using the design. I'm not trimming it up using the lines that I drew in. So, for example, on this one, I would come here all the way down and make sure I'm lined up on here to use that area for trimming. I wouldn't trim necessarily on here. And if you take a look at my markings here, some of them are quite fat. Kind of like me. Okay, I said it. But you know, so that if you keep getting adding them up one after another, that can surely throw things off a bit. So I always square my blocks using the embroidered or the stitched out design. Did that make sense? Oh, Linda, I hope you have a good appointment. Thank you so much for stopping in. It's so good to see you. Okay. Where are we? Okay, you guys are listening. Oh my gosh. That scares me. I hope I'm saying the right stuff. No, just kidding. Okay, so this one is different. We're going to line it up and we're going to go from A to B. Then we're going to move it over and end up at A again, just like we did on that last, yeah, I think it was the last one we did. Wasn't it the last one, Ken?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he says yes. He's not paying any attention. Okay, so here we go. I've got 16 rotations drawn in here. I don't know how 32 would work, but I'm thinking it probably might. That'd be one I'd have to figure out. Oh my goodness, I've got puppy rugs under my seat. Oh, one sleeping in front of me and one to the side of me. Okay, here we go. We're going to take that first stitch in place. Now this is a straightforward template. We don't need to go small on our stitches if we don't want to, okay? However, I'm going to justify that. If you have a straight design like this, and you have a curvy design that you're going smaller with the stitch length, my preference would be to keep all the stitches the same length. In other words, make this straight design match the stitch length of the curvy design. Okay, so now we're going to come over like this. Now we have gone to A. We're going to come up and down to B. The UPS truck just went by. It became alive. And you know the UPS and the FedEx truck, they get so excited. They love the mailman too. So there we go. and we're going to come and close this up. Now, what I found when I did this, when I practiced it, which I drew out to practice, I came up with something that I want to show you guys, okay, that I thought was pretty cool. There you go. If you don't want to, you don't have to do all 16 rotations. Okay, we're going to come to here. And that down. Didn't I tell you this one was easy? Okay, you come here. Go. This one should meet there. I don't know why it's not, but this one should be meeting there. Let's take a look. This is where it starts coming together. So we've ended here. So now we're going to come around, and that is going to be A. Go. Oops. You know, I'm wondering, nowhere on here does it say we need 12, or we need a multiple of 6. No, we definitely have it right. Okay. There we go. We need to make several passes on this one. Come down. Going to go ahead and cut this off. There we go. We're going to come over this 3 times. And down. Up we go. Nice and easy. Take that hesitation stitch at the top though. And at the bottom, we're definitely going to want to make sure that those are sharp points. I'm going to stitch a little quicker than I normally do, so We definitely are going to see those points. Why I don't understand why I think of a mariner's compass when I see this design. Because it really has too many fingers for mariner's compass, but it sure makes me think of one. Okay, here we go. You can't do just a part of this template or this design. You need to do the whole thing to appreciate how it's done. And it's not difficult. I'll move you in a little further. There we go. Well, this will be our second round in you got going. And now we'll be putting our third arm in. Now tonight, the templates we've done have gotten progressively easier. And quite honestly, that's the way I like to do things. Do the hardest stuff first, get it out of the way. Then it's a downhill slide. Hesitation stitch up at the top. Come back to A. That hesitation stitch. Keep those points nice and sharp. And one more after this, and we will have our entire design stitched in. And around we go. Now, when I first looked at this, I went, well, why are there no registration marks here? And that's, after I did it a couple of times, I was able to answer that for myself. There's no registration marks because with the way we're doing this template in 3 passes, we would have 3 different registration marks
You gotta go, sir.
that don't work. Like something just happened to my computer. Are you seeing me? Okay, there we go. I don't know what happened, but everything went bonkers there for a second. Okay, so this is, in fact, our spinning wheel number 6, and the easiest thing we've stitched tonight. Oh, what do you guys think? I like this. I really do. I'm thinking with a mini spinifex in the center of it, a 1.5-inch mini spinifex would be absolutely adorable there. Isn't that pretty? I like this one too, Linda. Yeah, they really are. There's so many secondary designs. Yeah, I like. Jan said she had to go out and come back in, and I agree with you. Technology is never a lot of fun. Now, okay, I'm going to bring you guys one step further with this.
I'm going now.
Okay,
They gotta go.
I'm not sure how many or if any of you guys do any hand embroidery. We could do some really pretty embellishment in hand embroidery. Putting French knots all through here, running straight stitches, running stitches through here, You know, there could be a lot you could do. The other thing is, if you do, you know, the Swarovski crystals, I can't say that word. You could put one on each of these guys here to really class it up also. You could template every blade or every other blade, or use two different fabrics and do odds and evens. There, like I said, you could put a mini spin effects in here. You could come in and do some meandering or stitching around here, and that is going to take up this extra waviness that you've got going on. This is happening because we have a lot of stitching in here and nothing out here. So if we go ahead and put some free motion quilting on it, what will happen is it will definitely pull this in and keep the whole block flat. So there's a lot of extra little things we could do. We could color it in with our Inktense pencils as well. I want you to see you guys just stitching definitely, but I want to see you take it one step further because there is so much we can do one step further. And, you know, starting in the fall, I haven't had any classes this summer. Summers are short. They go by very quickly. And I hate to see people sitting inside stitching while they should be outside tending gardens or just enjoying the outdoors. Sadly, we haven't been able to much this year, but it's okay. So what I guess my point is don't let your imagination stop at the stitching. Let's take a look at other stuff. Carla's got it right, beads and sequins. Yep. Susan, you're right. The last one is the most user friendly, definitely. This is an 11.5-inch block, Donna, and this is the only size it comes in. Yes. Yes. Some of the other ones that I'm going to be going over with you will have the similar design in more than one size. But it just isn't on these that we're doing tonight. Now, tomorrow morning, we're going to do Spin and Echo, and we're going to be doing 11, 12, and 13. And I think if I remember right, I think two of those are basically the same design with a different size. So that's what we'll be doing tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock Central Time, 7 o'clock Mountain, 6 o'clock Pacific, and 9 o'clock Eastern. Okay. Now, Donna, this is a really good question. Sadly, you cannot take out just a few points simply because it's put together in multiples of 3. So what'll happen is it will not close until all of the points are put into it. Does that make sense? Oh, you want me to erase my marking lines? Okay. Okay, here, let me grab an eraser. This isn't, this one that I use is not an iron off because this one I think just gives you a better view of the line. Okay, here we go. I just use a regular eraser, white eraser. Definitely use a white one. We don't want a pink one because it'll stain your fabric. Okay, there we go. So that is it without the lines. Well, mostly without the lines. It's really interesting because you can see more through the camera than you can see with the naked eye. That always blows my mind away. Okay, there we go. There you go, Donna. Not a problem. Ronnie is going to be traveling to Montana. Oh, we'll miss you too, Ronnie. And you know what? It might be a little cooler in Montana. I know you guys down in Arizona have had some horrendous temperatures going on. Definitely. All of us have, but you guys have it twice as bad as we do. So tomorrow's Spin and Echo and Lee's going to Canada. You guys are so fortunate. You really are. So tomorrow morning, Spin and Echo, and we're going to take a look at 11, 12, 13. Don't forget, like, subscribe, and share. That's always appreciated. And if you have any questions or you have any comments to get a hold of me, my contact information is on sostay.com under the Elevate tab, and instructors, and everything you need to get a hold of me is right there. So until we meet again, which will be tomorrow morning, I hope for most everybody, let's quilt.